Let's get on to the liquidity operations. Credit growth, what is that telling you about the state of economic activity in the broader Indian economy, and how does it affect the bank's approach to this issue of withdrawing excess liquidity from the banking system?
So rates have been pretty low since the pandemic broke, and a bit before that as well. So much of the corporate, while they might not have been borrowing from banks per se, they have been raising funds from the markets and also, hence deleveraging as well. Credit growth is just beginning to pick up. It's bottomed out, and you can see it in the ballpark at about 6.5%. Not very strong, but not falling anymore. At the same time, what the central bank did about liquidity was that there's been an excess rupee liquidity in the system for more than 2 years now, and we were expecting them to start, permanently remove liquidity, hence raise the reverse repo rate. But what they've done instead, and by stealth, is that for the past 6-8 months, this entire operation of absorbing liquidity has moved from the permanent fixed window to a variable window. And what they indicated yesterday was that that variable window shift is kind of the predominant way forward now going, it's been increased. So the scale of liquidity that we absorb will be higher from the variable window, going into December and into Jan. And I think then over time, what happens now is that the weighted average of the cost of absorbing liquidity has gone up. So in a way, that reverse repo has become, secondary. So if they were to increase it, even in February, I think it will be largely non-disrupted because the markets have already, the cost of financing, short end particularly, has already moved up. And so have the money market rates to where the repo rate is at this point.
Is that your baseline then, Radhika, in terms of the policy path? If Omicron, we all have to be experts in the Greek alphabet. If it is benign, then could the RBI hike the reverse repo in February?
Yes, they could. I mean, they could do it intermeeting. They could do it in February. At this point, because the money market rates as well as the short-term rates have already adjusted up, it will be largely non-disruptive or symbolic, so to speak. But yes, they could adjust it in one go, perhaps in February. Thereafter, I think the attention will shift to the repo rate because we do think that inflation risks at this point, are not as benign. You have inflation ticking up. You have input price adjustments that are happening onshore. And of course, commodities, though they've come off highs, they are still a problem to reckon with. So I would think high inflation, what's happening in the global space as well, will perhaps quickly shift attention to what's happening on the benchmark repo rate. But certainly to your point, liquidity operation, because it's already underway, we think will be confirmed with a reverse repo increase as well.
Inflation looking benign. So were the RBI right to keep their inflation forecast unchanged at 5.3% for fiscal 2022?
We would think risks are to the upside. In fact, the central bank also did highlight, it was kind of a mixed message on inflation. They did think that inflation would tick up from here. In fact, core inflation, they don't speak much about it, but core inflation as well was highlighted as a risk, and they expect it to rise further into the March 22 quarter. We agree, and in fact, inflation has been above the midpoint of the target since late 2019. So it's not as benign, and there are enough reasons to suggest it's going to head higher. So overall, at the average level, I think we would think that there might be an inflation forecast adjustment as well coming in, which again will play into the fact that if recovery is strong, you've got the Omicron variant that does not seem as threatening, and inflation is above target, that they might find reason to gradually begin to normalize policy on the benchmark rate, that is.
Hi, I'm Emily Tan, and thanks for watching CNBC. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more. Thanks for watching.